First thing we're going to do on this front grill to make this more scale realistic, is what we call it, scale realism, is we are going to cut out this fake plastic mesh so that it actually can have a mesh grill put in and it looks real. So it's a pretty surgical precision modification. So we're going to get out our tools and get it done. Just kidding. So we're going to use this oscillating tool right here, and you can see it's got fake honeycomb mesh in there. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut it out and go over and clean it up. So there's panel number one. We're just going to go ahead and cut all 4 of them out, and then we're going to go through with our rotary tool and clean up all the edges, make it look pretty. Okay, so that's all 4 grill sections cut out. Now we're just going to go through and clean it up with our rotary drill, or rotary tool. Okay, so there's the basic rough cut. We got all of the big stuff out of the way. What we have found that gets probably the nicest edge is if you take a good sharp utility blade and you can go through and clean up the edges. We like to scrape it over the back, and it makes it nice and smooth because a lot of that stuff is going to melt and it's going to stick and not want to fall off. But if you graze it with your blade, you can get it to come off pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to switch out our big sanding drum for a smaller diameter little cutting tool, because we've got some sharp corners here. Safety first. So we're switching out from this diameter to this diameter. Focus, focus, focus. So we can get into a tighter radius. I mean, that's still a pretty rough shape, but we're getting pretty close. We're probably going to clean up any of these burrs, maybe with a Scotch-Brite, and going to get ready to put in the grill mesh. Okay, so to make your custom grill, this first one we're going to use is actually a metal gutter guard material. So you're going to want to lay it out so that it goes past it. Probably an inch would be a good idea. You can always trim a little bit more later on. And you do want to be a little bit careful with this stuff because it bends really easy. So it's going to want to have some memory here, so you want to probably straighten it out so that it's laying out flat, or better yet, just put it on this way so you can see how it overlaps. But we can't go up because we've got some obstructions in the way. So first thing we're going to do is, we know that we're going to have to trim this because this is where it arcs. Same with this corner over here. Just take your time, go slow. Next obstruction is going to be this center stanchion here. And then the next one is, these are kind of sticking down a little bit. It's pretty common sense stuff. Just lay it out. You don't have to measure or anything. Just lay it out and cut the stuff that's in your way as you go. So after you've got that guy tucked up there a good distance at the top, I would actually even like to go just a little bit more. So I'm just going to come down 3/8 of an inch on all of my cuts here. Same with the center. And since it's metal, I got one little spot right here that's sticky. Got a booger, gotta pick it. Okay, so now that is a good distance up. Now, as you can see, we're definitely long here, so we can go ahead and cut that off. Get out of there. And then put it up there, and at a 45-degree angle, you're going to want to cut these so that they can overlap each other. Very much like in upholstery. Okay, so got that sucker up in there. And then just slowly from the edges push it down, keeping it flat on your grill area. Biggest thing is just to leave enough overhang so that you don't have any gaps or areas where the grill is actually missing. So you get the gist of it, really. It's not rocket science here. And then once you get it all pressed down, you're gonna have a custom grill. I'm gonna fine tune it and maybe press it down a little bit, and then you can just put hot glue. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna make a plastic one and see if I like that better. Okay guys, so for the second grill, instead of the metal, which we just popped off, it just came right out, we are going to attempt to make a black grill. It's going to basically blend in. Again, it's the same gutter guard stuff right next to it in your home improvement store. We found that at Menards, I believe, Home Depot, Lowe's. Same exact thing. There's only just going to be one extra step. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay out your material so that you've got some overhang. Take your scissors, in my case my tin snips, and cut off what you need. So we're going to need to get our basic shape. So we know that we're going to have to cut corners because we've got a rounded grill here. And then we've got this center stanchion here, so we know that we need to cut out for that. Scissors will definitely work fine for this step. And now that we've got a good overhang there, I'm going to trim off just this one little corner here because I know that's going to cause me trouble down the road when I'm trying to heat it up and bend it. Okay, actually I think this is going to work better having it this way. So it's definitely long here, and all we need is probably 3/4 of an inch. So we're just going to go ahead and trim that. Now, we're actually going to take a heat gun and we're going to bend this to conform it. But we're going through a 90-degree turn here. So you're going to want to cut right in the center of the angle. You're going to want to trim that so that it's able to overlap itself. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of giving me some extra holding force. I'm actually going to put a battery on here. It's going to hold it down. Probably that way, just like that. That'll hold it down because it wants to spring up. And I tried this using a metal putty knife. Thought it'd be a good idea while the metal putty knife was getting hot and it was melting the plastic. So we came up with a wood shim. Works great. It doesn't hold the heat as much. I'll probably have to turn this so you guys can see it. So in just, we're going to take our heat gun, and we tried our Milwaukee and it was just kind of too awkward. It was something we just got and it just didn't work very well. So we're going to go back to our old corded heat gun. It does put out a little bit more heat. So what we like to do is we like to hold it at the edge so that it diverts some of the heat down to the edge. And once that just starts to melt, you're going to want to push it down. And work your way around. You got to be careful because you can melt this and then you're screwed and you got to start over. Okay, so just take your time, work your way around, and you do also have to be careful not to overheat your actual plastic body too much, because then you're going to deform it. Okay guys, so that's basically it. You can see that it took the shape of the outside of the grill. And if you're not doing a Dodge Charger by Kidtrax, it might be a little bit different. definitely look at what you're doing, but that's basically it, guys. Custom grill. Custom kids car style.